In this video, we are going to talk about statements and blocks. Let's first talk about statements in Java. The statements in Java is similar to statements in our English language. Let's take a look at the procedure to make tea. Go to kitchen, turn on the stove, put on the pan, pour some water, insert tea bag, serve hot, enjoy your tea. These are all the steps involved. Now if you see, each of this statement is ending with a period, and moreover, if I remove one of the word from here, this would result in not accomplishing our task of preparing tea, because I go to kitchen, turn on the what? I don't know what to do here. In Java programming, this would result in compilation error. Let's put it back. Now each of these statements collectively performing a certain task. Keeping this in mind, let's go to our Java program. So in the similar manner, we have statements in Java that ends with semicolon, whereas in English they end with period. That's it. Now we have multiple types of statements which I feel is not worth knowing. We have already taken a look at some of those statements, like we have declaration and initialization statements, we have method invocation statements, we'll talk about methods later on, etc. Now let's talk about blocks. Each of the block would constitute n number of statements. It could be 0 or any number of statements. We can just have an empty block. A block will start with a curly brace and end with a curly brace. In this program itself, we have multiple blocks. This is one block, and within this block we have another block, which is this, and we have one more block. We have one more block as well. We're calling this block 1, block 2, and block 3. One important thing to note is the scope of variables. We have block 1 here, and it has a variable char a. Now inside this block we have subblocks, which is block 2 and block 3. The char a can be accessible from inside this block, and when I say inside this block, it also means inside the blocks inside this block. So the variable a is accessible within these blocks as well, block 2 and block 3, but not the other way. For example, in block 2 we have char b. If you try to access this variable outside this block, which is block 2, then we would get a compilation error, because the scope of a variable is restricted within the block where it was declared. In this simple example, we're just explaining a is accessible within block 1, block 2, and block 3. B is accessible within block 2, block 3, but not block 1. And C is accessible within only block 3, but not block 2 and block 1. Let's run the program. Alright, you see the output.